That's over there. MI5.
Over on the right, that is the original buildings for Scotland Yard. First and Second World Wars, Ammon. Over on the left-hand side, the Palace of Westminster. There the longest trial in English legal history took place. The trial of Warren Hastings that lasted 18 years before he was acquitted. And as we bear over to the right, no, left, because look at the traffic, we'll do it the other way round. Yeah, this is the entrance to the House of Commons on the left. And Westminster Hall here is where our kings and our great lie in state. This is where Winston Churchill laid in state, and when I went to see him lying in state, I'll show you where the column of people filing past started. This is the Henry VII Chapel of Westminster Abbey on the right-hand side, one of the most beautiful chapels in England. And Geoffrey Chaucer had his house just about there. And then, a little further along, here's the entrance to the House of Lords. You can queue up and go into Stranger's Gallery, just by the House of Lords. Over on the right-hand side is part of the old Palace of Westminster that dates back to the 14th century. And if you look on the left-hand side here, there's a beautiful statue by Rodin called the Burghers of Calais.
Westminster Abbey, over there. And that's the west door where coronations, going to the coronations and burial.
Was really jammed up for that.
Princess Diana's.
Is that what we're saying?
Yeah. We were thinking of Westminster Abbey.
Over on the right-hand side, the great west entrance of Westminster Abbey. And just beside the little chapel of St. Margaret's at Westminster, out of Embarrassment's Way. People very often don't bother to go into St. Margaret's, and I think it's lovely. But and then, in a moment, Trafalgar Square. At the far side of Trafalgar Square is the National Gallery, where many of our great paintings can be seen. An entrance to the National Gallery is the theatres that are to be found. And here on the left, the London Pavilion is where the Beatles first performed A Hard Day's Night. We bear round to the right,
Oh, there's the rock star.
where the green trees are. That is where...
We're going to see Big Ben again.
And over on the left is a small step. Oh.
This is St. Paul's Cathedral. Standing in front is Queen Egypt.
And then, do any of you watch Rumble of the Old...
I
looks like Christopher and Rumble. In the tower, bottom of the tower, where you can just see that flat window. And now they would be dark. And now they would never be dry, because the Thames is tidal, the water would come through the walls. And they would have rats for company, and bread and water to eat.
We're inside the Tower of London, wandering around in here.
Food brought in from the inns outside
Reed
in
is
their
taking
own
us
servants. And some were incarcerated in the Tower of London, even though they were not condemned, died of the conditions they were under, and others never recovered from their stay. And always he refused, he couldn't be tricked into it. And finally his conditions got worse and worse. He was taken for trial down to West
Take 30
You
minutes.
see these strong, sharp spikes? Apparently the Duke of Wellington, coming through here, found a sentry asleep on duty. So he made the sentry stand behind these little circles. Years to get the throne of Britain, because Edward III had had too many children. And finally, at the end of the 1400s, Henry VI was on the throne. He was kicked off by Edward IV. Edward IV IV was kicked off by Henry VI. Henry VI was kicked off by Edward IV. Put into that round tower there, and there he was quietly murdered. In the meantime, Edward IV became king. So it goes Henry VI, Edward IV, Henry VI, Edward IV.
The execution spot. And Berlin and others.
Line, and she was Protestant. And there were many who thought Elizabeth was a bastard because Anne Boleyn was married to a divorced man. So he put Lady Jane on the throne and waited for Protestant England to
Okay, Lois and I did our pilgrimage to Abbey Road. Lois, you signing that over there? Lois is signing the wall. There you go. All right, she did it. She did it. I just signed it too. There's a crowd down there that came on a tour too. There they are. And right down there, which we're going to walk over to, is where the crossing took place on the album cover. We'll get over there and take a better picture. See ya.
End. These so-called clues, they simply explain the way. Nothing that strange about their clothes, for a start. Volkswagen car, that belongs to someone in the Abbey House, the apartment block here. Then he'd happen to park his car by the crossing that.
Now this is at Buckingham Palace. They're watching that guard. They're watching that guard.
Look, there's a construction worker. It kind of ruins the image of the palace guard and everything. Walking by the guard.
We're at Piccadilly Circus now, wandering around. People all over the place here.